she goes over to the system communication array, tries to look around a little bit, types in a couple of hail commands, reach out maybe to a beacon or something. You should have been following our normal trade route, as I mentioned before, and nothing. Not a beacon, no sign that you're in the Sutter's World system. Nothing.
Well, we must have been woken early for some purpose. It hasn't exactly become apparent, but I'll get in touch with the corporation and we'll get it all figured out.
We'll get this.
Everything's cool, guys. Everything's great.
Woke up because of the damn glitch.
Captain, may I speak with you in private?
Yeah.
Okay.
If we're 6 weeks out, put us back to sleep.
Sick of this. Gonna get me out of this chicken shit outfit. All right.
Johnny's a prick. That's awesome.
All right. So
Yeah, I'll step into another room or something.
Yeah, so you just go. Basically, that's what it amounts to. She reduces her mother reduces the voice signal to just that room that you step in with her main power core, and she says that we have picked up a distress call from an unknown ship and need to investigate.
Oh, hell no.
All right. Unknown. Not the. Well, that's why we woke up then, right?
Correct. That is why I was. That's why I woke you after we came out of Lightspeed.
Okay. You're sure about this isn't another sensor glitch, anything like that?
Unlike the sensor glitch, which was reporting an anomaly in the sensor array, this is a radio transmission.
All right. Good. It's fine. I'll tell the crew.
Okay.
I come back out and say, Mother's telling me we were woken by a distress signal. I think we should go check this out.
That's not really what we're getting paid to do. We're getting paid as transport helium-3. You're asking us to go off contract.
Well, I'm sure there's a corporate agent. Is there a contract? Is there a distress call on our contract?
So
I'm sure that if there's a spaceship full of children and nuns that's about to crash into a planet, and Wayland Yutani would like to seize on the PR opportunity of saving them.
Oh, PR.
I mean,
there you go.
That would be a really great idea, and I'm sure that Wayland would definitely give some kind of bonus for saving nuns and children.
As long as they're rich nuns.
It makes a good point. I mean, you think about it. We got a job to do here. I mean, it's your ship, lady.
I mean, I think we should go see what it is. It may be to our benefit to see what's on there. But I mean, if you guys really don't want to, we don't have to. But
well, heck no, let's get some action going.
Really good in the eyes of the corporation if you guys, did a little above and beyond.
This way, salvage might be some money in it for us, guys.
Ooh,
is it good?
That also, yeah.
So,
I'll pretend I didn't hear that.
Hey, this is outer space. That's salvage rights. All right. So Vic, you've got a data pad in your hand, and you're scrolling through the order after you downloaded it from Mother. So you walk back in the room and say, "Hey, we got a job to do. This is a little bit of a distraction, but we'll get on with the tour after we check out this ship." You're scrolling through, and you notice at the bottom that's bolded in red. It says that as the company rules say that that the crew must investigate if as ordered. Not doing so means that you forfeit your share of money for this run.
Well, I guess we're going then.
I guess so.
I'll just kind
Not that
of
we're trying to argue semantics here, but just because it says that we have to do it, otherwise we forfeit, doesn't mean we can't get struck for doing that.
Doesn't mean we can't do what?
Doesn't mean we can't get paid extra for doing this.
It does not.
Corporate
So I would do it, and I will talk to, if they give you any problems, I'll talk to my superiors, and I will make sure that everyone is fairly compensated for their work.
For the amount of work we do, right?
Yeah.
Commensurate with the amount of work. Emphasis on the amount. Is, I think,
The amount.
is I think what Kale's
Yes.
getting at.
Yes, the corporation will
Okay.
will compensate you kindly for any extra work you do. Han Solo.
That's a mighty big
Excellent.
mug you got there.
I'm just happy
Isn't
we're
it?
breaking
It's
this
giant.
monotony.
It's my giant coffee mug, so I can't spill it.
Luke's just happy to be out of the monotony, he says. All right, so how are we going to go about tracking the ship down? You're stopped in the middle of space.
Can we fire up the old sensors and see if we can try to get them to work?
For sure. Yep, so that would be, sensor array would be another comm tech check for someone.
Let me handle this one.
Does anyone have a Comtech higher
Move.
amount?
Mine's
Yeah, I got one
Yeah.
also.
So I'll handle this one, guys.
Gotcha.
Now that we've come to an understanding.
All right. Kale's on
Holy
board.
cow.
Holy
Oh.
cow.
That would be maybe a success. Not sure. Could maybe not be.
Oh, I was watching the dog. I was okay.
Yeah, it's a huge success. So as I mentioned
Yeah.
earlier, you need one to get the success for the action, and every other one is a bonus stunt. So in this particular case, with Comtech, let's see here.
That's a 4, right?
Yeah, he got 4 successes off Comtech.
Wow,
Yeah,
awesome.
which is huge. So, yeah, now I'm realizing what I should have done was put these in as documents. If you're following along in your RPG book, it's on page 44. For each extra roll on a Comtech, you can gain 1 modification to a later skill roll related to something similar. So system scanning, for example, or ship scanning. You don't need to roll to overcome the exact same challenge in the future. You do it quickly in half the time it would normally take. You get new
That
or
would-
unexpected information, or you can hide your tracks.
That doing things quickly may come in handy. I don't know why. It's not an alien game or anything.
I'm sure we'll all be fine.
We'll be fine. We won't be in a rush to do anything.
Right. So you
We'll
find
figure it out.
yeah. So that's those are your choices for the sake of simplicity. We'll say that you do it in half the time. You find some extra information, and you can do it faster the next time. Those are your 3. If that jives with you. So, yeah, you turn on you get over the scanners. You have the corporate lady that's trying to type away there, and you're like, move. And you have no trouble whatsoever honing in on basically there's a vector that you kind of figure the computer has already pointed you in. You start scanning that area first, and sure enough, you find an actual radar contact within just a couple minutes. Not only do you find a radar contact, but it is barreling towards you. This time, while the alarm has not gone off yet, it is no doubt that this is an actual object hurtling towards you at rather rapid speed.
Does that come up on my pilot's screen?
It does once he feeds it to you, yes. He doesn't have to do an action. I'll just say, yeah, he feeds it to you, and you see it coming up.
I'm like, holy shit! And I kind of take a little evasive action, try to match its course and velocity.
Okay, yeah, sure. So in this case, just give me it's pretty tricky to get your giant 280-meter ship turned around that quickly, but go ahead and roll a pilot check, just straight, no modifiers.
Well then.
I say it's difficult, but for you, it's actually just a walk in the park.
Finally, some action.
Everybody kind of leans to the side a little bit as the artificial gravity grabs hold of them. You wheel the ship around, and you manage to get at least in the same direction. You still got to work a little bit. Actually, with 4 successes, we'll get there. You'll get there, no problem. Scanning the ship, John, you see that the engines are dead. It appears to be being carried along on inertia. And as you look out the viewport, as it passes by you, you look out the viewport, and really the only reason that you see it initially is because it blocks out the stars behind it. It's, in other words, there's no exterior lights, doesn't appear to be any interior lights, just a hull or a ghost of a ship that races past you guys on its way off into nowhere.
That thing looks awfully powered down.
Yep. But between the Comtech and the awesome piloting check, though, you avoided it hitting you, so that's something.
Good. We should go after it.
Yeah, this appears to be your quarry.
Is the ship a lot bigger than ours?
It is bigger than yours. It's measuring about 380 meters, so about 100 meters longer than you guys. With your 4 successes, Tim, you don't really need to do anything else. We'll say that you were able to match its velocity eventually. So you had to turn around on a dime, stop your momentum, get back up to speed, and now you're starting to catch it. Go ahead, Kale, give me another Comtech check. As you're approaching, like I say, it's just a big black spot. So what are you doing as you start to get closer to it?
Are there any insignia or anything else that we can see? I mean, obviously it's dark. Do we have any lights on ours that we can put on it?
You do have lights, yes. You got gigantic floodlights.
All right, I'll flick them on.
Okay. All right, you flick on the floodlights, and you do, in fact, see a huge derelict ship just hurtling through space. Got 4 giant, faster than, or actually sublight engines on it. No lights whatsoever on board, either external or interior. You do pass the floodlights over the holes, or over the name on the hull, and it reads USCSS Cronus. Where's that Comtech? Did you get it already? Yeah, so Kale, go ahead and give me another Comtech check. Actually, I'm sorry. Everybody, since we're doing a visual, go ahead and give me an observation check.
Everybody?
Yeah, everyone who's looking out the window, that is.
Oh, for observation?
No, observations, your Mark 1 eyeballs.
Actual.
Okay. All right. I got you. All right, there we go. Mine just wasn't. I keep forgetting this little pop-up that comes up every time, so I didn't bother.
Okay, so
I'm remembering.
Yep. Lyron, it comes to mind real quick. You know that you've heard the name Cronus before, and then as you hear Jane and Luke kind of talking back and forth, you all come to the realization that this is the USCSS Cronus that disappeared in the 22nd century, almost 75 years ago. It's been lost. It's been recorded as lost.
Well, it don't sound like there's any damn nuns or children on that ship.
Well, they're not children anymore, if that's the case.
Hell.
Dead nuns,
Guys.
it's old people.
So you're telling us this is like a generation ship? Is that what's happening here? We're going to Sci-fi?
Right, for sure. This is we're going into Lord of the Flies now. Actually,
Geriatric.
This is a military vessel?
it is not a military vessel. It is much like so. For the most part, this book is put together beautifully, but there are some parts that just did not go together well. And so the description of the Cronus in particular is like in 3 different parts in the book. It's very frustrating, so I apologize. So coming alongside the ghost ship and kicking on the floods, you see something out of the history books, the USCSS Cronus. It's a Wayland, so even before Wayland Yutani, it's a Wayland SEV M3 Hyades class spacecraft. And based on, so you start looking stuff up, Luke and Jane, based with your successes on your rolls, you know that it was launched in 2110, 75 years ago, and it's been missing since then. Like it launched, last known transmission totally indicated everything was okay. They were taking off from some planet. You'd have to go look it up. You're not entirely sure what it is, but they were taking off somewhere, and then nothing, and nobody ever found it since.
So at this point, yeah, Luke's like excited. He's, holy shit, guys, this is the original, this is the Flying Dutchman. We're going to be famous. We're going to be rich finding this thing.
Yeah, we could be dead.
But we'll be rich.
Or rich.
We'll be rich and dead. I mean,
Or rich
wait.
and dead.
Either way.
Wayland would be very, very happy for us to enable this ship and bring it back. I mean, if we could get it running, we'll take both ships back. I mean, they'll be ecstatic. I can't even imagine how much they will do for you guys.
Now we're speaking my language.
I mean, what do you think, Skipper? This is a once in a lifetime chance. This is the original Flying Dutchman.
That sounds great, and I think we got to pursue this. I also want everything that she says in writing signed.
I tell you what, I will run back to my computer. I will put you together a contract, and they will surely honor it.
In triplicate. All right.
Surely.
Recording this, mother?
I am recording, Vic. Yeah, so continuing your scan, Kale, you see that there's the only sign of life at all, only system sign of life at all on the ship is a weak SOS signal that just keeps repeating. As you're closer to the ship now, it's the same signal that Mother played for you, Vic, when you were off talking to her before. And then as you guys are all chitter-chatting and kind of getting hyped up, Mother comes up over the loudspeaker and she says, Priority company rules changed. Recover scientific data and samples from USCSS Cronus. Escort the salvaged Cronus to Anchorhead or another YW facility. Priority 3, save crew members on the Cronus. And then silence.
Save crew members. Apparently, Mother missed the part where there's no life support.
Yeah, and everybody on board is about 100 years old.
73 years. Unless everybody's in like the cryo status thing, maybe.
Hey! That's why it's priority 3.
Yeah, it's possible they could still be in cryo. You are right about that.
If it was full of children, yeah, they're old now. But yeah, we'll keep an eye out.
Is there any way to monitor kind of power readings off that thing? Is there any power in the ship?
Yeah, absolutely. So the power readings came back from Kale's last scan, and the only power signal at the moment is there is a weak. I'm sorry, let me back up. There is a weak power signal. The main systems are completely shut down, however, just based on your scan, and then of course the radio SOS signal are the two things. So there's a small power signal on board. It's not enough to generate any light, or life support's clearly off as well.
Well, my question is it enough power to power some sort of cryo chamber? Any kind of stasis chamber? Because if there's not enough power for that, then there ain't nobody on there alive.
But there still might be all that data we could bring back. I'm sure they'd appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, the data.
The data. The data. Hey,
I don't have the data.
Luke, you can attest that it probably is enough power. It probably is enough power to support stasis, cryo chamber.
So there's enough power to run something over there.
I thought this thing was supposed to be a cargo hauler. What sort of scientific research got going on?
Maybe the cargo it was hauling was this research materials.
Well,
won't know till we get over there.
All right. I need...
It's a hell of a lot more interesting than helium, don't you think?
Absolutely. I agree with the boss lady on this one. What do you think, Skip?
Luke cracks his knuckles. Yep. Yes, sir. Or ma'am. I mean, yes. All right.
Also, these scans. Are we getting any other information? Do we know what crippled this thing? Fire? Anything like that? Breaching the hull?
Track. Okay. Yep. I gotcha.
Do we?
So the ship. Go ahead.
So we know that she has been in contact with Wayland about this, right?
Mother has received orders from Wayland. No, that doesn't
necessarily
that's mean that.
In my head. Okay, that's fine. Right.
Yeah. So she basically, when her systems came back on, so you've got kind of a standing order to stop for SOS. That's just kind of the way space works. So she stopped. It had been long enough to receive basic commands, and then as you guys were all talking back and forth, then she got the priority orders from, her light speed transmission that they had found something. Finally reached back, and yeah.
All right.
So she's received orders, but nobody's talked to anyone in real time.
Okay, so how do we go about going to that ship? I don't know how that
works. I need
transport ships, or how do we do that?
Can we dock directly to it, or? How's that?
So, on board this fine vessel of yours, the Montero, you have two ways you can see, well, three ways really, you can see of getting aboard once you match speed, which I'll have Luke do here in just a second. The first way would be to dock with the airlock, and you do have an umbilical that you can dock ship to ship. The second way would be to do a spacewalk, similar to our friend there in the picture. The third way, you have you can call it a shuttle. So a little bit better description of your payload. Each one of these, you're carrying 73 of these helium-3 canisters in your cargo hold, and each one's about half the size of a tractor trailer. And so the way that you are going to offload those, it's really pretty dangerous to handle them, particularly if you're trying to go into orbit, go into atmosphere from orbit with all 73. So you have a shuttle on board to take each one down. That was your plan. The shuttle's about 85 years old. And it's seen better days, but it does work.
I would assume the smartest option would be to dock with it. No? Any ideas, guys?
I concur with the doc, and I could do it.
How safe is that, though? What if there's some kind of plague on there or something? I mean,
What we'll
we don't
do
know
is
what's going on this ship. It's old.
It's just an old disabled ship. I'm sure there's not a plague on board.
well, we could open the airlock on one end, close it. That way the umbilical's the only thing exposed, and open the other end.
Sure. Yep.
Keep it like a closing door.
You would have to do that with the pressure anyway, wouldn't you? Kinda.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I just not trying to complain or anything or cause problems, but we don't know what we're up against here. Easier just to send somebody over in a shuttle and check it out, and it looks all right. Then we hook up. That's just all
We can split the party.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't
It's
know
about
what
time we
else
got
you
around
would
to
say
this.
couldn't do.
right.
We could, yeah,
Right.
shuttle is fine as well. It is an 85-year-old shuttle, though, guys.
Do we? I'm assuming we have enough suits for everyone.
You have, so Vic, two things. One, as you're scrolling through kind of you took the time to look up the Cronus and a little bit of its history, maybe its last logs, that sort of thing. So you've got some information there available. But in addition to that, you hear Kale pipe up about the EV suits, so the spacewalk suits, and you're like, oh yeah, well we've got 5 of those. That's true. We do have 5. We could all spacewalk if you wanted. And then that reminds you of you start kind of going over in your head some of the equipment that is also on board that you might need going over to another ship, and that handout is now available to you in your character sheet, or in the same area as your character sheet. So, Vic, you're scrolling through and you find out that the last known coordinates of the Cronus was the 26 Draconis system, specifically a small planetoid dubbed LV1113, so 1113. Tucked away, which, as you're looking through, it was tucked away, or is tucked away in a planetary debris belt shared by the sun of its trinary star system. It left, like I said, in 2110, and its last transmission was 2 days, whatever that date was. Its last transmission was 2 days after launch, and it's been lost ever since. All right, so you have that equipment list.
So it was lost 2 days after it had launched.
Yep, after it had launched from its... So it was on some sort of exploratory or scientific mission, launched off of LV1113, and then lost all contact 2 days after launch.
Well,
So
there's your
It
plague.
was on its return.
There's your plague theory. No one's going to all die off of the plague in 48 hours. So clearly, there's not a plague on board. We should be fine. It would take much longer to kill off an entire crew.